Right, hello and welcome back to another Villa on Tour podcast. This is the final video from the USA and look at the settings. We are right in the heart of Central Park. It's my first time being here. Look at the background. It doesn't get much better than this, mate. Obviously, I'm joined by Simon. How are you, mate? You okay?
I'm really good, yeah, really good. Bit gutted it's the final day of our USA tour, isn't it? But it's been a really good trip, and what a way to end it, really, by doing a podcast right in Central Park.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this. It's Monday today. We're flying home in a couple of hours, 7:30, and because of all the time differences and weird things like that, we'll get home about 8 a.m. UK time. So going to be a bit of jet lag, and then we're off to Valencia on Friday, aren't we? Looking forward to that. So it's no rest for the wicked, and then it's the actual season. That's come around pretty quick, that has. So we've got Valencia on Saturday, then we're making a weekend of Newcastle. So a lot going on. It doesn't stop, does it?
No, it doesn't. I think, as you said, the summer's been really, really quick this year, hasn't it? It's been a really quick, feels like there's been a really quick turnaround for us to start the season, and yeah, it's crept up on us really quickly, hasn't it? So yeah, as you say, off to Valencia this weekend, and then Newcastle. It never stops, does it?
Yeah, absolutely loving it. So the last time we did a sit-down sort of podcast thing was on Monday afternoon in Orlando. A lot has happened since then. So we'll just talk about our trip, basically, talk about a little bit. Obviously, you've seen the videos. If you haven't, go and check them out, because the support on them has been absolutely fantastic. Like the comments from people in real life, the comments on the videos has been amazing. So if you haven't checked out the sort of series that we've done, we've pretty much done a video every day, so go and check that out if you haven't already. But today we're just going to talk about sort of our trip in a little bit more detail, what we've got up to, things you might not have seen on the videos, and things like that. So we'll get into it then, mate. Like I said, last time we did a sit down podcast was in Orlando. What did you make of Orlando? Because we changed our hotel, didn't we? We went to International Drive, a little bit further south. Orlando, like a lot of American cities, is so spread out, but I really liked it in the end. It was a nice place, Orlando. Obviously did Universal on Tuesday as well. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Orlando. It was the first time I'd been there, and it was a perfect location, wasn't it? We went to a new hotel, which was a really nice hotel, right by all the bars, all the restaurants, right by all the theme parks, and obviously we had Universal booked, didn't we, for the Tuesday, which we went to, and so it was just really handy. It was really handy where the hotel was, wasn't it? But yeah, Orlando in general, I really liked it. I thought everyone was really friendly. All the restaurants and the bars were really nice. The area we were in was lovely. So yeah, I absolutely loved it, and the weather wasn't too bad, was it? I think everyone was talking about how hot it was going to be, and it was hot, but it wasn't as bad as I expected, to be honest with you. I felt like we coped with it pretty well. Yeah,
a lot of people were, like, when we were in Philadelphia, a lot of people were saying, oh, you're going to Orlando, like, look after yourselves, it's so muggy. But I think we were lucky. I think the day we did Universal, we were okay. What did you make of Universal then? I know we spoke about it on the video at the time, like it lived up to expectations. It probably wasn't as big as we were expecting, because everyone makes such a massive thing of Universal Studios. Like, you're expecting like huge things, and it was we did the two parks. It was brilliant. We did 3 roller coasters in the day. Obviously the queuing times were massive, but it was a fantastic experience, and one off the bucket list, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, and I think, I always wanted to go to Universal predominantly for the Jurassic Park stuff, and so as we got to Universal, we literally headed straight for there, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I think we were fairly lucky. I mean, with the longest we waited was like an hour, and that was for the big Jurassic Park ride, and so I think we did well there. I mean, our intention was never to do every ride, was it? We were never going to do that. We never planned on doing that. We wanted to do the main things, and that's exactly what we did, essentially. But yeah, I really like Universal. I thought it was really good. I thought the Jurassic Park roller coaster that we did was the best roller coaster I've ever done.
It's one of the only roller coasters I've ever done. It was mental. Like, what was the stats? Like, you looked it up on Wikipedia while we were in the queue. It was like, what's the fastest like accelerating roller coaster in Florida? Something like that.
0 to 70 or 80 miles an hour or something within 2.2 seconds.
Like, just saying that doesn't justify it. Like, I've never felt anything like that roller coaster, but it was a great experience. Like,
it was just continuous, wasn't it? It never stopped. Like, normally roller coasters, you have a bit of a break.
Not on this one.
Starts again, but it just carried on, didn't it? But no, it was great, wasn't it? It was great. But yeah, as you say, I think I was expecting Universal to be like a lot bigger than it actually was. Yeah. We did a couple of laps of it, didn't we? Really, we did a lot of walking that day. We did a couple of laps of it. But no, it was really good. And I think if anybody comes to Florida, then I'd put Universal down as one of the as one of the main things to do, because it's not just rides, is it? There's a lot of things to do. A lot of seeing like some of the film sets, and
that's really interesting.
Some of the things that they built from the films through the years and stuff. So yeah, highly recommend it. It was really good.
Yeah, just before we crack on to talking about the Orlando game, then here's a quick message from this video sponsor. Yes, this video is very kindly sponsored by Surfshark VPN, which has come in very useful whilst we've been in the USA. Surfshark VPN is a virtual private network which keeps you safe and secure whilst you're on the internet. So that's the whole time whilst you're online, and especially when you're using public Wi-Fi's in places like hotels, at airports, at restaurants, which we've been doing a lot of whilst we've been over here. It keeps us super safe because hackers can easily see what you're doing, see what you're searching, and see all your passwords, details when you're using those public Wi-Fi's because they're not encrypted at all. So as well as keeping you super safe, it also opens you up to so much more content online as well. For example, when we're over here, we can't access BBC iPlayer, ITV Hub, so when I want to watch the end of Love Island, I can't do it when I'm here. However, changing the location of your device on Surfshark can change the location back to the UK so you can see all the content you like as if you were literally in the UK. Mental. So if that appeals to you, I've got a very decent deal. Use my code VillaOnTour to get 3 extra months for free. Top link in the description. I use it myself. It's coming so handy whilst we're over here, so go and check it out. Right then, let's talk about the Orlando game then. It's the only game out of the 3 that was in like a designated soccer/football stadium, obviously home of Orlando City. The day overall was fantastic though. We got a taxi all the way up to the sort of, it was in downtown, the pub before the game, which was about 20 minutes away because Orlando, like we said, was so spread out. But the pub was brilliant. The atmosphere before, it was in an Irish bar, wasn't it? So it was really impressive. These lads want to be on the video. But it was really good, that pub, wasn't it? That Irish bar. Obviously it was rammed. It was quite small in there. People coming up to us saying hello. It was the same in the Philadelphia game, and we'll come on to the game in Washington as well. But everybody saying hello, it was, and buying us drinks, which was probably a downfall in the end, but it was just so kind. People were so lovely. Just a brilliant experience, wasn't it? It was just things that you're just not going to forget.
The whole day in Orlando was great, wasn't it? And everyone was so nice, which they've been on throughout the trip, haven't they? Coming up to us, telling us their stories, really, how they became Villa fans and how they ended up out here in the US, and how they still followed Villa, and how much they appreciated, the sort of match day vlogs that we do, and how it brings them closer to the club, being so far away. And so that was really nice to hear, wasn't it? And we went to a little Irish pub in Orlando. Constantly kept the drinks were flowing, weren't they? Another drink kept appearing in your hand, and as you say,
it was whilst you've got another one as well.
It was a bit, as you say, it was a bit of a downfall probably for us, especially for me, I think, because I definitely had a few too many that day.
Oh, good on you, mate. You're on holiday, you deserve it.
It just cost me $42 for 3 beers. I just had a conversation with a bloke. I said, "Look, mate, wouldn't have cost me this in the North Stand."
But yeah, no, it was great. It was really good, and it was handy because the pub where we were was so close to the ground, wasn't it? It was only like a 15-minute walk to the ground, so that made it absolutely perfect, didn't it?
I mean, the whole shambles in the ground. We were waiting in the ground, and when we were walking to the ground, the weather was bad. You could hear the lightning and stuff, but as soon as you got in the concourse and was looking out onto the pitch, and you saw the rain thundering down and the noise as well. Our mate Paddy was with us, went and spoke to the head of police there, and the policeman was like, "This ain't going to happen. This game ain't going to be on." And I went to go and speak to the steward, and he was saying, "Yeah, look, this is Orlando. This is what happens. It will happen. Give it an hour or so." And I think, what's the rule? It's you need to give it 45 minutes after the last hearing of lightning or something like that. So what was the delay in the end? Was it just over an hour or something?
Hour and 20. I think the game kicks off at 8:20, didn't it? In the end, so it was an hour and 20 minutes.
So I was a little bit worried that it was going to be called off. But the game was slow. It was muggy. It was wet. I mean, if you've seen the pictures of the players' shirts, you go on the pitch in claret shirts, but you come off in black shirts. The sweat was ridiculous. It was a slow game, pretty forgettable game to be fair. Diaby obviously getting his debut goal. That was probably the highlight, wasn't it?
I think so. It was a fairly routine, straightforward win, wasn't it? I don't think Fulham were brilliant. They weren't at their best, but equally, I don't think Villa were. I think Unai Emery said after the game he was a little bit disappointed with the shape that we had throughout the game. We lost the shape. We weren't great in possession, but I think overall we still managed to control the game, didn't we? I mean, we missed the penalty, and Camacho also missed the sitter straight after that as well. So we had a lot of chances, and obviously we managed to get the win. It was fairly routine. It was fairly comfortable, wasn't it? But not a lot to write home about, was it? It was just a fairly straightforward, sort of friendly win.
Yeah, the games were pretty forgettable overall, to be fair. You'd expect in hot conditions in pre-season, of course. The stadium was brilliant. I think it was probably my favourite stadium. Like I said, it was the only sort of designated football stadium. In the second half, you would have seen that we went behind the goal, sort of safe standing, which was really nice. I really enjoyed that. The fans as well, the Villa fans, you could tell they were just absolutely just having the time of their lives, wasn't it? Because a lot of them, like you said, it was just really interesting sort of hearing their stories and why are they Villa supporters. A couple of them were from the UK, who'd either come over or emigrated, living over here, whatever. But just the American fans who have no connection to Birmingham necessarily. It's just interesting to hear their thoughts, and you could tell they were just loving life, and good on them.
Yeah, absolutely. There was there was absolutely loads of people we spoke to, wasn't there? There was a whole collection of people we spoke to, and every single one of them was so ecstatic that Villa were out where they were from, or within a short drive for them. I mean, the amount of people we spoke to this week who were talking about how, it's not far, it's only an 8-hour drive,
and that's
we
normal.
Were like, oh my god, that's we moaned about 3-hour drive to Newcastle, so an 8-hour drive felt round the corner to some of these guys, and so fair play to them. I'm so glad Villa came out here for them, really, because some people hadn't seen Villa for donkey's years, had they? And some of the people we'd spoke to hadn't even been to Villa Park yet, which was mad, really. So it's a really big thing for them. But yeah, and about the ground, I think it was probably my favourite one as well, and I think purely for the fact that it was actually a football stadium, wasn't it? You know, compared to the other like NFL grounds and stuff like that, it was actually a proper football stadium. So yeah, no, it was really, really good.
It was an early morning, wasn't it? Getting the train to New York. I forgot what we did then. Yeah, train to New York, wasn't it?
No, we flew. We flew back to New York.
So this week it's been so hectic. I'm forgetting what we do because literally non-stop travel. Yeah, we flew to New York. That was fine. Then we were just knackered, weren't we? Because that was such an early morning. So we were knackered on that Thursday. We walked around New York a little bit, but on to Friday. That was probably my favourite day of like the holiday. I think obviously it wasn't football based. It was purely like New York is, if you've never been there before, like it's just incredible. Like the scenery, if you've watched the New York video, if you haven't watched that, please go and check that out. I know there's no football involved in it, but it was just us in awe walking around this like incredible city, and it's just amazing to be here. We've come into New York a couple of times because we've obviously been all over the place. This is like sort of our base, so I just love that Friday. It was incredible. We packed so much in, didn't we?
Oh, we did, yeah. I mean, we started out. We went up the top of the Rock, didn't we, at the Rockefeller Center, which gave undoubtedly the best views over New York. You know, you had the Empire State Building, the shot, you had the World Trade Center, Central Park the other way, the Statue of Liberty. You had literally the whole of New York from the top of there, and we spent quite a while up there, didn't we? Because we were just sort of taken aback by the incredible views, and so we started out with that. Where did we move on to next? We went towards the 9/11 museum.
So we had a bit of lunch, and then we went to the 9/11 museum, which was absolutely incredible. Like we spent a bit of time around like the memorial sort of area, but just the 9/11 museum was incredible. Like again, if you're ever in New York or whatever, you have to do that. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. Like obviously the new World Trade Center and the whole what they built around there, the whole memorial to all the people that lost their lives on 9/11 is just incredible, isn't it? And I think the museum. I mean, we were in the museum for a long time, really, weren't we? We were over 2 hours or so in the museum, and it just felt like you had to give it that time to do it justice, really, didn't it? You know, it was. I think they've done it so well. I think it was always going to be difficult for them to build something there, wasn't it? And yeah, I think what they did build was absolutely spot on, wasn't it? It's really well done, and it's quite tasteful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like it's just so powerful, and you can tell when you go in there, like everybody's in silence. There's so much to see. Some of the things they've got in there is amazing. Like they've got fire engines in there that were obviously had debris fall on them and are just like absolutely battered, and just seeing some of the stuff in there, seeing some of the videos and like phone calls, voicemails. I don't want to go too much into it but it is just so powerful, and the way they've done it is amazing. So again, if you're ever in New York, please go and do that. Some of the other things we did as well, Staten Island Ferry, that was good. Incredible views of New York, and again, for free. Can't turn that down, can we?
No, it's the one way you can get a boat. Well, it's probably the only way you can get a boat in New York and see sort of the sights of Lower Manhattan for absolutely free. You'd pay decent money on the sort of tourist sort of boats, and yet Staten Island Ferry is predominantly a commuter sort of mode of transport, and so yeah, we did that. It runs all hours of the day, and so yeah, we did that, didn't we? We just did a round trip, didn't we? We went over to Staten Island, and then we just came straight back to Manhattan, but we managed to see the Statue of Liberty and all the other sites in Lower Manhattan right from the boat, over the water, over the Hudson. So yeah, it was that was really, really nice, wasn't it? And I think it was just as the sun was sort of setting, wasn't it? So it was a really, really nice place.
Yeah, you could probably spend a week in New York spending loads of time doing whatever, but the fact we only had like a day, we packed a lot in, didn't we? We then went to the Legends Bar, which is like the home of New York Lions HQ. There was a few people in there, which was nice, speaking to some really, really lovely people. I think one of them came over from Erdington. I think the rest of them were American, supported Villa, all in Villa shirts. There was Villa memorabilia all over the walls and stuff. But just speaking to them and just chatting about Villa, because the good thing is, like, we don't know these people, they don't know us. Like, yeah, you've seen us on the videos and stuff, but you've all got that thing in common in Aston Villa, and it just gives you like that talking point to just go at, and then the conversation can just flow forever. Like, just having Aston Villa in common when speaking to people you don't know at all, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's an easy conversation starter, isn't it? And I think I just love hearing the stories of everybody, how they ended up coming to the States, kind of thing, and what was their life in Birmingham or the UK prior to that, if that was how they ended up. But I just love hearing everyone's stories, because everyone's totally different, aren't they? But we all have, as you just said, we all have that one common thing, one thing in common, which is our sort of support and passion for Aston Villa, and so yeah, it's really nice, and just hearing how those guys meet up on every match day, and also support together whatever time of the day. They were talking about the Blues game a few years ago when they all met up at 6 o'clock in the morning. The bar opened specially for them at 6 o'clock in the morning, which
it was packed, by the way, as well.
Yeah, we saw a picture of it. Like, you couldn't move, because it was incredible. And so yeah, just to talk to them guys and just listen to the support that they give our club from all this way was really nice.
Yeah, Saturday was Washington. We went to Washington that day, and there was a huge major storm that sort of disrupted our day around the pool, which was a little bit annoying. But obviously Sunday was match day again, 12 o'clock kickoff, which was a little bit different. Everyone was moaning about the stadium actually, but I thought it was amazing. I think it's one of the oldest stadiums in the NFL in Washington, so like really out the way as well, like nowhere near the centre of Washington DC, but luckily it was close to our hotel. Again, another brilliant match day. And in terms of the game, mate, I know we drew in the end, a bit of a slow start as well, but Villa played some great stuff in that game.
Yeah, they did, absolutely. I think overall, I think we've been really positive during this pre-season. Okay, maybe the results haven't been there, but that's not what you come into pre-season for. Is that you try out different things, and I think that's what Villa especially did in that game against Brentford in Washington. I think we tried out Torres at sort of a left back sort of role, and we tried Matty Cash a little bit further forward, and we were trying out different things, weren't we? But I think some of the football we played was absolutely brilliant, and I think the opening sort of 10 minutes or so, the football we were playing was absolutely brilliant, and Brentford sort of took the lead against the run of play, essentially, wasn't it? And okay, yeah, we had lapses in concentration defensively, I think, throughout the game, and I think that's been a bit of a common theme so far. It was the same against Newcastle in the first game in Philadelphia. But I think overall, I think they'll take a lot of positives away from it. I think we've shown what we can do going forward. I don't think scoring goals is going to be an issue this season. As we can see, I think Diaby looks unbelievable. I think Tielemans looks like he's settled in really well as well. So yeah, I think we were obviously trying new stuff, weren't we? And I think we popped Torres over on that left hand side, and I think it's going to take a little while for Torres to settle in. Probably, I think he's good on the ball, isn't he? You can see he's quite good on the ball, but I think it might take a little bit of time if he's going to play that role. It might take him a little bit of time to get used to it. I think he showed the play the inside a little bit too much, didn't he? And that's where one of Brentford's goals came from. I don't know. I think there's been a lot of debate, hasn't there, about the centre halves in terms of who we're going to start when we come to play Newcastle, and I could be totally wrong with this, but I just have a feeling that Torres might be easing into it gently. We might end up seeing Mings and Konsa start the season. There's a bit of a use what you know sort of thing to start off with, and gently sort of bed him in during like Europa Conference League games or whatever. But that's not to say that Torres isn't a good player and not a good signing. He'll be absolutely brilliant for us. But yeah, I think there's been a lot of debate on social media about what our centre half pairing might be, and I just get the feeling I think people might be a little bit surprised he might not be in that starting 11 come the start of the season.
It's just nice to have options, isn't it? I mean, when team news was announced yesterday, I was looking at it thinking that's pretty strong, that is, and then you go down the bench and think, well, that's pretty bloody strong as well. Like in previous seasons, even last year, you're thinking, well, realistically, who's going to come off the bench here and change something if needs be? I think in pre-season games, you mentioned it yesterday, of course, but we were just, we were in our flow, whatever. But then once you make sort of 5, 6, 7 changes, it's going to disrupt the game, isn't it? That's probably why it ended up being 3-3 in the end. But it's just great, so refreshing to have them options coming off the bench, wasn't it? Like Tielemans, who was man of the match in Orlando, he was coming off the bench. Like Archer, who I think has been a little bit slow start to service, possibly. Would have been nice to see him sort of put his stamp on the game a little bit. I don't know, is that being too harsh? But it's good to have options, isn't it? And we've got that pretty much across the park now.
Yeah, we have, and I think I don't think we're far away from being done, if I'm being honest, in terms of the transfer window. I know there's people out there who will always want 1 or 2 more or 3 more, and I think as Unai Emery said, Villa's options will always be open until the end of the transfer window in case something pops up, and I think Villa might maybe get 1, potentially at a very max 2 more, depending on outgoings as well. I think Villa will obviously spend the next couple of weeks trying to get some players out the door as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see the likes of like Chambers or Dendoncker, Traoré move on if they got offers, Coutinho even. Again, it's a big if though, isn't it? And it's not likely that we're going to get all these players off the books, and so if we do, I think we could see another couple in. I think he'll try and get another attacking sort of player in personally, and I think there's still been rumours swirling around about another right back, and I kind of feel like that's dependent on whether we can get rid of Chambers though as well, because he said the other day that Chambers is now thinking of more as a right back or a midfielder rather than a centre half, and so I think if we get a full back in, I think that'll signal that Chambers will be moving on. But yeah, I don't think we're far away, to be honest. I don't think we're far away. We've got a lot of options now. We've got mostly 2 players for every position. Andy said the other day that he didn't want a new goalkeeper, which is his decision, fair enough. And so yeah, I don't think we're far away, and obviously we're only a couple of weeks away from the start of the season, and I think the games against Lazio and Valencia this week will probably tell us more in terms of his starting 11 for that Newcastle game.
Well, they're big tests, aren't they, against 2 pretty established European sides. I know Valencia have had a pretty crap season last year, then they came 16th, so make of that what you will, but like playing big European sides twice in 3 days, that's going to be good. Obviously a week before the season as well, but just some of the stuff we were playing yesterday as well, like just so fluid, and it moves so fast. Like we were looking at it trying to work out who was playing where. When the team sheets came out, we were like, right, Pau Torres is going to be a left back, but obviously Cash is going to bump forward, everyone's going to shift over, that sort of thing. Like when we've got the ball, we just move it so well, and you can see like patterns are emerging. And for example, Diaby's been here literally 2 games. He's come, you were saying on the train earlier, like he's come over straight from Germany to America. He probably hasn't even been to Bodymore Heath or anything yet, and he's playing like he's an established player. Like he looks like he's linking up well with Watkins, with all the players around him, Buendia, whatever. Just looks good. Like the patterns you can see, like this is really encouraging. We're going to score goals this season.
100%. I think Diaby's link-up play with Watkins already has been really good, to be honest. I think they look like they've been playing together for absolute months rather than just 2 games, and so yeah, 100%. He looks good. He looks really good, Diaby does, and I think he'll be a star of Villa's season, to be honest. But just to mention some of the other players, though, I think some of these patterns carry on from last season, really, like the Kamaras and Luiz of this world. And just a shout out again for John McGinn, because that man at the moment is just something else. His game has just gone up so many levels. And again, he was probably the best player on the pitch again yesterday, really. He's just incredible. He's just got that energy, hasn't he? And he doesn't misplace many passes anymore, and he just wins the ball constantly, and he gets you up the pitch, and then he's up the pitch himself, and he just keeps going. He's the bloke's machine, isn't he, essentially? And yeah, I think John McGinn's I said to you yesterday, John McGinn's the first name on the Villa team sheet, and I stand by that. I think he's the most important player Villa have, to be honest.
Yeah, just on John McGinn, like sometimes when I look at Villa players, when they've got the ball, I sort of think, oh, I'm a bit nervous here. But whenever John McGinn has the ball, I just have complete trust. Yeah. Just complete trust that he knows what to do. He's sort of got eyes in the back of his head. He can turn on a sixpence. He can use that burst of speed. Literally, the amount of times yesterday this is probably down to Brentford's poor defending. The amount of times he got the ball in space, turned and like just drove so quick with that burst of pace. It's really impressive. Just a quick mention on that Konsa goal as well, by the way. That was ridiculous. Where did that come from?
Oh, it's mad, wasn't it? It was absolutely mad. I mean, it was at a time when we were hanging on a bit, weren't we? We were
yeah,
2-0 down. We were hanging on, and you're thinking, okay, if he goes 3-0 there, then it's sort of game over. But Konsa just comes out with some sort of mad Alan Hutton style sort of run, and yeah, less said about the Brentford defending, the better, probably. Don't think it was the best defending, but we're not going to talk about that. It was a great run, and what a finish as well, by the way.
Yeah, it was amazing. And that completed the US tour. After that we went to see the White House and things like that. Went to the pub where a few Villa fans were as well, had some award-winning pizza, which was nice. But that completes the US tour, mate, and it's been an absolute blast. Like, we've been here, 9 days now? Came last Saturday. You're seeing this on Tuesday or Wednesday. It's obviously still Monday now, but it just feels like it's gone so quick. Been here 9 days. It's just been the trip of a lifetime. Absolute non-stop. It's been great.
Yeah, and it's because we've been so busy. It's gone so fast because we've been that busy. We packed so much into it, but yeah, just a big thank you really to all the Villa fans that we met out here in the US. It's your kindness and your generosity to us has been like out of this world, really. We do really appreciate all the comments and all the chats and all the drinks that we've had. But everyone's just been so welcoming, haven't they? And it has been. I think I said to you, this is a trip of a lifetime for us, kind of thing. This is the first time I've ever done a really big pre-season trip, and yeah, it's been everything that we thought it was going to be, and probably more, really, hasn't it? So yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. And like, even for example, a guy called Justin from Washington invited us out for dinner, like offered to pay for it. Like, these things, like, people have never met us, like, and they just feel like they know us. And it's just an absolute pleasure. Like you said, people buying us drinks, people coming over and just shaking our hands and just saying thank you. And for me, like, making videos for the last 5, 6, 7 years, I don't feel like I should be thanked. Like, it's just, you know, I'd take this little camera to the football and make a few stupid videos with my mates, like at the football that we do anyway, really. I just decide to make videos and make a laugh out of it. And the fact that it's so important to people, and like so many people all over the world, like when we went to Dubai, people were saying stuff. In America, everywhere we've been, people from all over America, all over the place, people are saying thank you, and it creates so much for their sort of match day experience, and it's so important to them. So again, just an absolute massive thank you. This American tour has been amazing. Like Si said, it's been absolutely what we dreamed of and more. And the videos, even people that haven't come up to us, even the comments on the videos, if you've watched any of the videos, left a comment, a lovely comment, thank you so much, because the comments on them have been really, really nice. People saying they've really, really loved the videos. So we both really, really appreciate that.
I think, you know what, the whole trip's been great, hasn't it? It's met so many good people. You know, we've had some great weather. We've seen a lot of goals, some good football. It's been really positive on the football side of things, and then we've just had an absolute blast, haven't we? So yeah, it's been incredible.
Been an absolute trip of a lifetime. Like, I just feel like in the last week or so, we've just lived the dream. Like, following the Villa in so many brand new cities in America. For me, creating videos as well, constantly. That's what I enjoy doing. Staying up late, editing the videos, putting my spin on it, and then seeing the feedback from people on Twitter, Instagram, on the YouTube comments as well. It's just been amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for your support. I keep saying thank you, but we really, really do appreciate it. The next time you will see us will be in Valencia next week, off to Spain. No rest for the wicked. Obviously, we've got Lazio on Thursday. I won't make a video on that. I am going, but I won't make a video on that because it will just be, I mean, it's at Warsaw, isn't it? So it's not going to be amazing. It should be a good test though, like we said earlier. The next time we see us, like I said, will be at Valencia. Looking forward to that, mate. In the sun, another sunny Villa away day. Can't complain.
Yeah, it should be good. It's going to feel weird, isn't it? Only back at home for what, 2-3 days sort of thing, and then off we go again, kind of thing. So that's a nice, short and sweet, that one though. It's only a sort of long weekend job, isn't it? So, and then we'll be all ready for Newcastle. So yeah, should be good.
That's how we do it on Villa on Tour. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Like I said earlier, if you haven't checked out the other videos, please go and do that, because I'm really proud of them. The support has been amazing. So go and check out the previous videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week in Spain. Up the Villa.